Hello, Boston, and welcome to Game of the Week. We are hard to believe, but it's the final day of the 2021 BPS high school basketball season. We've got the City Championships here on a beautiful Saturday, and it's pretty amazing that this season has actually gotten to this point without a hitch. The Boston Public Schools Athletic Department has done a fantastic job putting this on. The schools have done a great job. The teams and, of course, the players themselves and coaches have done a fantastic job as well. First up today, we have the Girls City Championship game. And, of course, we've got two teams that often seem to find themselves in the City Championship. That's O'Brien taking on Fenway. Now, the Fenway Panthers are the three-time City Champion Panthers that have won the city championship the last 3 seasons, and of course they're led by their fantastic junior, Kiana Armbruster. Armbruster's been a starter since her freshman season. She's won a couple city championships. Both teams that she's played on over the last 2 years have gone on to the state tournament. Obviously no state tournament this year, but Armbruster can continue this amazing run by Fenway of winning the city championship. So certainly no stranger for Fenway to be in the Girls City Championship. However, this season, brand new coach for Fenway. John Rice had been there for well over a decade. Obviously very dominant City League coach, getting to the City Championship almost every season as the head coach of the Fenway Panthers. He's also gotten very deep in the state tournament. I believe Fenway won a state championship during his time as well, but have been to a couple of state championships and state semifinals at the TD Garden. So Coach Rice stepped away just for this season. I'm not sure if he's going to come back. That's still yet to be decided. But fantastic run for him. But Caitlin Fenn has stepped in and done a fantastic job at Fenway. She was an assistant coach a year ago. She's picked up right where John Rice left off, and you can see the Fenway Panthers and how they've gotten to this point. We're going to talk about the O'Brien Tigers in just a second, but let's take a look at the Girls City League playoff bracket real quick before we get going here. And then you see how these teams got there. You got Tech Boston and New Mission. New Mission was able to defeat Tech Boston. Latin Academy beat Madison Park, and then Fenway and O'Brien, the two teams playing today, were the two top seeds in the City League. So then they hosted those two teams last night, and Fenway was able to defeat New Mission by a decent margin and get to the City Championship. O'Brien, on the other hand, was in a dogfight last night against Latin Academy. They were able to win 43-38 over the Dragons, and that's how these two teams got to the City Championship this afternoon. So you see those final 4 teams there, New Mission, Fenway, Latin Academy, and O'Brien. Those are usually the final 4. It's sort of been like that over the last decade or so, and we'll see if that changes over the next couple of years. But once again, Fenway getting in there, and this year O'Brien, who actually hasn't been in the City Championship for a few years now, but is always in the mix, and once again getting in there this year in 2021. So we'll talk about the O'Brien Tigers now, and once again led by Trudy Fisher, the head coach of the Lady Tigers. She's been there a long time. She's won a city championship or 2, I believe, at O'Brien. She's done a fantastic job once again this year. Both teams are undefeated. I don't think too many people are surprised that Fenway's undefeated this year. I'm not sure if it's a surprise that O'Brien's undefeated, but very good young players on that team, including their sophomore, Lena Guerrero. She has been outstanding this season. She's the point guard for the O'Brien Tigers, and she's also been their leading scorer throughout the season. And she was once again last night in that tough game against Latin Academy. She had 15 points for O'Brien. And then her sidekick, Jasmine Cox, excellent defensive player, very athletic. It flies up and down the floor. You're going to see that today. She had 10 points for O'Brien. And then also Jabria Horsley, the senior, a very good player as well. She had a big 3 late in the 4th quarter for O'Brien. So they were the ones that were able to score points down the stretch, get things going. And here we are, the start of the girls' 2021 Boston City Championship. O'Brien controls the opening tap. Tigers hang on to the basketball. Here's Jabria Horsley at the top of the key. O'Brien in the white jerseys with the blue trim. Fenway in the black jerseys with the yellow trim. 3 ball from the corner off the back iron that time from Jasmine Cox. There's Kiana Armbruster with the rebound for Fenway. As we mentioned, she was actually one of the players that the Boston Globe highlighted as a player to look out for this season, not just in the Boston City League, but across the state. They tried to lob it into Armbruster, but the pass is too high, so that'll go back to Jabria Horsley. Horsley all the way to the bucket, rejected that time by Kiana Armbruster. Three ball off the back iron that time from Printemps. And the rebound comes down to O'Brien. Guerrero. There you see Lena, the point guard, controls the floor very well for the Lady Tigers. Horsley tries a runner, and she gets fouled. She'll get 2 free throws for O'Brien. Looks like they called that foul actually on the floor, so O'Brien with the side out of bounds. Guerrero. Beautiful pass inside. So Wade-Deer. So McCray Wade-Deer scoring the first points for O'Brien. Putback for, I think that was Omaria Ashley with the putback for Fenway. Omaria also a very good player for this Fenway team. Often the ball handler and a scoring guard for the Panthers. We're tied up at 2. Jasmine Cox trying to drive the lane. We got a jump ball that's going to go back to Fenway. As we mentioned, both these teams undefeated coming into the season, or coming into this game rather. Armbruster loses it at the top of the key. That's Cox with the steal. Here comes Lena Guerrero back down the other end, gets rejected by Armbruster, goes off of Lena Guerrero, so that's going to go back to Fenway. What a defensive play there by Kiana Armbruster. You can see why she's one of the most, valued, not valued, but one of the top players to look out for, not just in the Boston City League, but in the state. Very good defensive player to go along with her offensive skills. Almost another steal there by Jasmine Cox. Jasmine, one of the best defensive players in the Boston City League with that speed and those long arms. Deep 3 from Armbruster, well off the mark. Printemps couldn't come away with a rebound, and here comes Jasmine Cox. Cox thought about a 3. Cross-court pass to Guerrero. She fires up a triple. That one no good. She gets her own offensive rebound. Jabria Horsley with the runner. Can't get it to fall. Armbruster with the rebound for Fenway. Both teams still feeling each other out, especially when they're on their own offensive end. Armbruster tries to fit a pass in there. Here comes Cox back down the other end, off the steal. Can't hit the layup. Too much mustard on that shot. Another turnover at the top of the key there for Fenway. Here comes Guerrero off the steal. She scores the layup. So Lena Guerrero with her first field goal. 2-point lead for O'Brien. Not a lot of scoring here in the opening minutes of the first quarter. We had McCray Wiederer with that layup underneath, and Lena Guerrero off the steal gets a fast break bucket. And then on the other end, it was Omaria Ashley scoring inside. Ashley with it now at the top of the key. Three ball on the way and off the side rim that time for Fenway. Jabria Horsley with the rebound. Horsley trying to go coast to coast, and that's going to be a blocking foul on Janiyah Printemps. Guerrero again getting inside the paint. She got tied up, but she was fouled in the process, so she's going to head to the free throw line for O'Brien. I mentioned it was a close game against Latin Academy in the semifinals for O'Brien. They actually trailed for the entire game, including losing by 1 going into the fourth quarter. Guerrero no good on the first. But they were able to rally back. Jasmine Cox actually had 8 points in that fourth quarter for O'Brien. Lena Guerrero had 4 huge free throws for the Tigers down the stretch as well. So you see that leadership in the backcourt. Despite Jasmine Cox just a freshman, Guerrero just a sophomore. So 2 very young players providing a lot of leadership for O'Brien. They just see Guerrero coming away with a rebound. She tried to feed it inside, but it was stolen away that time by Fenway. That was Omaria Ashley once again trying to force the action for the Panthers. Ashley tried to feed it into Armbrister. Now we have a held ball that should go back to Bryant, I believe. Yes, it does. Horsley trying to get inside the paint. Can't get the floater to go. It's tapped out of bounds and will stay with the Tigers. Guerrero looking for an opening. Nice little jump stop there, but she was not able to hit it off the window, and the rebound comes down to Omaria Ashley. 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Just a 2-point lead for O'Brien. Both teams struggling offensively. The runner off the back iron, no good that time from Winter Neal. Cox then throws it away. Here comes Winter Neal with a wide open layup, and she's unable to hit it. Guerrero with the rebound for O'Brien. Both these teams very good defensively, and you're seeing the defensive pressure that they're both putting on each other here in the early going. That's a travel that time by Lena Guerrero, so that'll go back to Fenway. Minute 10 left to go here in the first quarter. O'Brien on top of Fenway 4-2 in the 2021 Girls Boston City Championship. Armbrister off the jump stop, finishes off the glass. Pretty move there by Kayana Armbrister, her first field goal of the ball game. As I mentioned before, she had 26 points and 9 rebounds against New Mission last night. Nice curl feed that time as Horsley couldn't come up with a shot as it was blocked by Armbrister. Hadiatu Ba then getting tied up by Horsley. That's going to be a jump ball that'll stay with Fenway. Substitution for O'Brien with less than a minute to go. As Erica Burns coming in, giving Laisha Picardo a breather. Didn't see what happened there. It must have been a violation on Fenway, so that goes back to O'Brien. We've got 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter, tied up at 4. Got a 4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, so Fenway might have a chance for another possession. We'll see what O'Brien does with it here. Guerrero. Horsley tries a runner. Sorry, that was Jabria Horsley who couldn't finish it inside the paint. Armbrister looks determined to take it herself. Then she gets tripped up just before half court. .7 seconds left to go. Fenway's going to have to get a shot up. They give it to Armbrister. Buries a three before the buzzer. Might have gotten away with the travel there. She took a jump stop, but you see all the players in the NBA do it. And Armbrister rattles home a three just before the end of the quarter, puts Fenway on top 7-4 here after one. So you see the Fenway Panthers going that 5-point run at the end of the quarter to put them up by 3. You see the O'Brien Tigers coaching staff saying she took a hop, skip, and a jump to get that 3 off. So we'll see if that counts. I think it's gonna. I don't see how they could go back on that call. However, you know, I thought both teams defensively played really well in that quarter. It was actually O'Brien who got a few more open looks inside the paint. It really took Fenway some time to get things going. And, you know, Kiana Armbrister, off of some nice efforts from her there in the first quarter, was able to put up 5 points. But if O'Brien did a pretty good job locking down Armbrister through the first probably 6 minutes of the quarter, I think they have to do a little bit more of that. Meanwhile, for the O'Brien offense, I think they just need to kind of knock down some shots. They had a couple of open looks. They keep continuing to move the ball around. They'll be okay. For Fenway, you know, Kiana Armbrister's played in a lot of postseason games. Omari Ashley's no stranger to the city playoffs and the state tournament. Winter Neal's been in a few postseason games. Even Hadiatu Ba, who's still a young player, played a little bit last season. So they have some players that are familiar with these types of games, but they haven't really had a clean offensive possession so far in this first half. We'll see what they can come up with in the second quarter. But Armbrister with the 5 points, 3 rebounds. She had 2, make that 3 blocks, including one where she actually knocked it off of Jabria Horsley. Omari Ashley with the other basket and 2 rebounds for Fenway. Meanwhile, for O'Brien, Lena Guerrero has 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. McCrae Wiederer has 2 points. Jasmine Cox with 2 rebounds and an assist. So the players that we thought would be very involved in this first quarter of the city championship were. We'll see what other role players kind of step up. Often it's those role players that are the ones that sort of make a difference in a championship game like this. So we'll see which player can step up from either team over these next 3 quarters. Looks like we're just about ready to start the second quarter here from O'Brien High School. Girls 2021 Boston City Championship. And folks, real quick, while we have a chance, if you want to follow us on social media, you can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. Go to that site. We got links. We got different games that we're going to be covering. You can also go to our website, www.boston.gov/cable. Check out the video library. Finally, you can follow us on Twitter @BostonCityTV. If you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Fenway starts off the quarter with the basketball. Armbrister, corner jumper, rattles it home. She can score inside, she can score outside. She's a rebounder, defender. Not a lot that Kiana Armbrister can't do out on the floor. Another player who can do a lot out on the floor is Lena Guerrero. She was bringing it up there for O'Brien. Jasmine Cox, well off the mark with that 3. That goes out of bounds, and that'll go back to Fenway. Fenway currently had a 7-0 run since the start of the first quarter, as Fenway has a tough time getting it over half court. There is no 10-second violation in girls high school basketball. Omari Ashley throws up a prayer from the elbow, gets her own rebound. Armbrister, top of the key, buries the jumper. Armbrister now with 9 points to lead all scorers. And Fenway's extended their lead to 7. Horsley getting bumped on the elbow. That foul's going to be on Hadiatu Ba. There's a question as to who committed that foul. It was definitely Hadiatu Ba. I think they did get it correctly as Hadiatu Ba committed that foul. Horsley tries another runner. Then saves it inside, but it's stolen away that time by Omaria Ashley. Armbrister up the up fake. And they're going to whistle Armbrister with a foul there as Horsley was able to come up with the steal. Ashley tries a jump stop, but she took an extra step, so they whistle Omari Ashley with the travel. That shot off the mark. It goes off of Armbrister, so that'll stay with the Bryant Tigers. We're going to reset the shot clock. I believe it was kicked out of bounds. Horsley fires up a three and hits it. Jabria Horsley connects from long distance to break the drought for O'Brien. That's their first basket of the second quarter. Breaks a 9-0 run by Fenway. Now we get a turnover as Armbrister fouls Jabria Horsley. Interesting possession here for O'Brien. As they were down by 7, they hit that 3, then got the turnover. Horsley unable to hit that shot. They could have cut it down to 2 with a field goal right there. Just about 5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Fenway with a 11-7 lead over the O'Brien Tigers. Hadiatu Ba off the up fake, tries to get the runner. Can't get it to go, but she'll head to the free throw line to shoot 2. Ba no good on the first. Ba knocks down the second. 5-point lead here for Fenway. .440 left to go in the second quarter. Weeder looking for an opening. Jasmine Cox with the runner, and it's going to be a foul on the floor. That'll go. There's a foul on the floor. I think it's going to be. Nope, it's a 2-shot foul. It was a shooting foul, so Jasmine Cox now shooting 2 for the Tigers. Jasmine rattles home the first. Cox hits the second, her first 2 points of the game. Back to a 4-point lead for Fenway. It looks like the Panthers want to call a timeout here with 4:29 left to go in the second quarter. So you saw Fenway go on that 9-0 run to extend their lead to 7 after being down 4-2 for most of that first quarter. Now O'Brien, after breaking that 9-0 run, has had a couple of baskets to get back to within 4 here in the second quarter. So neither of these teams are going to let the other team go on a massive run where they're out of it at all here in the first half. The programs know each other way too well, and they've been in too many postseason games to not know what to do here. Now with Fenway, most of their offenses come from Kiana Armbrister. That was a nice job by Hadiatu Ba to drive to the basket to get a couple of free throws. We certainly know Amaria Ashley can get to the basket and knock down some open shots. We'll see if Fenway can get a couple more players involved offensively to open things up for Kiana Armbrister or Omari Ashley or any of the other players. Meanwhile, on the other side for O'Brien, they're sort of doing what they want to do. Their top players are getting open looks. McCrae Wiederer is one of their best rebounders and has been filling her role as well. You saw Jabria Horsley knock down a 3. She's probably one of their best 3-point shooters. So we'll see what kind of offense these two teams can generate over the next 4 minutes before halftime. It's been a slow start for both these teams, but as I mentioned, two good defensive teams, especially for Fenway, they have Armbrister down low. For O'Brien, they have very good perimeter defensive players. So as there you see Jasmine Cox creating havoc once again. She gets the steal, scores the layup for O'Brien, back to a 2-point lead for Fenway, as Cox now has 4 points. And another steal at the top of the key for the Tigers. And then they turn it over as the cross-court pass goes over the head of Jabria Horsley. One-point lead for Fenway. 3:45 left to go in the second quarter. Almost another steal there for Jasmine Cox. Now you see Armbrister with a full head of steam. Double teamed up top, and she turns it over in the backcourt. So last couple of possessions have not been pretty for Fenway. Jasmine Cox steps into a 3, buries it. Jasmine Cox with 7 straight points for O'Brien and gives the Tigers a 2-point lead. They didn't reset the shot clock, so the referee's going to stop again. Another steal for Jasmine Cox. Off the up fake, Guerrero. Back to Cox, top of the key. Can't get that jumper to go. Guerrero with the offensive rebound. Luna Guerrero going to set things back up for the Tigers. Wiederer cross-court pass to Cox. Horsley trying to go baseline. Runner well off the mark that time as Winter Neal comes away with the rebound for Fenway. Three ball short that time from Neal. Rebound comes down to Lena Guerrero. Lena had Horsley underneath. Now she finds her, and Horsley scores the hoop and the harm. Jabria Horsley scores off the window and will head to the to the free throw line for a 3-point play. And I think the bigger development here is I think that's the 3rd foul on Kiana Armbrister. So if I'm Coach Fenn, I'm taking Kiana out if that's her 3rd foul, and probably not bringing her back in for the entire the entirety of the second quarter. See if Horsley can complete the three-point play. She cannot. Winter Neal comes away with the rebound for Fenway. Armbrister still in there. That's at least her second foul, so we'll have to keep an eye on foul trouble for her. Almost comes away with that rebound. It stays with Fenway as it was knocked out of bounds. That time by O'Brien. Armbrister tries to move inside. She gets bumped inside the paint. So she'll get 2 free throws for the Fenway Panthers. Armbrister hits the first. Armbrister hits the second, puts the Tigers up by 4. I'm sorry, cuts the O'Brien Tigers lead down to 2. With about 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Like that 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Horsley airmails another pass cross court that goes out of bounds with 1:52 left to go before halftime. 2-point lead for the Lady Tigers on top of the Fenway Panthers. In the 2021 Boston City Championship, Winter Neal tries a jumper, unable to hit. And it's Burns who's trying to wrestle away the loose ball. Erica Burns comes up with a jump ball that gives it back to O'Brien. Bria Horsley looking inside, tries a pass underneath. Layup is no good. Guerrero trying to go baseline. Nice feed inside, and then O'Brien gets tied up underneath. That's going to go back to the Fenway Panthers. Cray Weiderer back in for O'Brien. Cox almost with another steal. Always gets her hand inside the passing lane. Ashley trying to feed it inside. And it's going to be an offensive foul on Winter Neal underneath. Either an offensive foul or 3 seconds. I couldn't quite see the call from the other side of the floor. Coming up on a minute left to go here in the second quarter. 2-point lead for the O'Brien Tigers. Jabria Horsley can't hit the 3. Here comes Printemps back down the other end. She gets stuffed inside by Jasmine Cox. And that's going to stay with the Fenway Panthers. And Coach Fisher of O'Brien wants a timeout here with less than a minute left to go in the second quarter. Chance for O'Brien to get a stop and possibly another basket to extend their lead before halftime. As we've seen now, these two teams have gone back and forth throughout this first half. You know, O'Brien was probably better in the beginning and most of the first quarter, but was only up 4-2. And then Kiana Armbruster had 5 straight points to put her team up 7-4 at the end of one. And then Fenway continued a 9-0 run into the second quarter before O'Brien was able to break that streak. And now it's O'Brien who's been able to regain their lead, thanks in large part to Jasmine Cox, who's done a fantastic job defensively at the top of the key, getting her hands in the passing lanes, creating steals, and just making it uncomfortable for a lot of the Fenway players on the perimeter. Pass a little too high that time for Fenway as Guerrero off the steal tries to jump stop and gets fouled underneath the basket. Another call, a jump ball. It's going to stay with the Tigers. Jasmine Cox for a 3, buries it for the Lady Tigers. Jasmine Cox has had an excellent second quarter. She's now got 10 points in the quarter, 10 points overall for the Tigers. Amaria Ashley trying to feed it inside. She stepped out of bounds, so that's going to go back to O'Brien. So after scoring that 3, they'll also quite possibly have the final shot of the quarter here with just 15 seconds left to go. Horsley, open look from the elbow. She had an open layup that time, but it's going to be a tie-up where I think Fenway is going to get the ball back. Jabria Horsley had a chance for an open layup there. Well, they called the foul on Fenway. So now at the free throw line for the O'Brien Tigers is Laisha Pichardo. Shooting a 1-and-1 here as Fenway's in the bonus. Pichardo rattles home the first, so she'll have one more. Pichardo no good on the second. Loose ball. As Printemps comes away, excuse me, that's Printemps right there. And that's going to do it for the first half here at the Girls 2021 Boston City Championship, as the O'Brien Tigers lead the Fenway Panthers 20-14 at the half, and certainly a very good half there for the Tigers. They actually probably could be up by more. They weren't able to hit too many shots there in the beginning of the first quarter, but for the most part, they were able to execute their offense, get some open looks, and also create some free throw opportunities for themselves too. So excellent first half there for O'Brien, up by a few points there over Fenway. But you saw there for Fenway in the first half, mostly Kiana Armbruster. She had 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 blocks. So Maria Ashley with 2 points and 3 rebounds, and Hadiatu Ba with 1 point. So Fenway has had a tough time generating offense as a team, but then a couple of their players were able to create some things on their own to score some points. Meanwhile, for O'Brien, Jasmine Cox had a fantastic second quarter. 10 points in the quarter to go along with her 2 rebounds in the half, 1 assist, and 3 steals in the half, too. She also had a bunch of deflections on the defensive side of the ball. So you see what kind of havoc Jasmine Cox can create as a defensive player at the top of that zone defense for the O'Brien Tigers. We saw it right there. Lena Guerrero, just 2 points, but she had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. Even if Lena's not scoring, she does a fantastic job as a ball handler, as a floor general, kind of running the offense, calming things down when they need it, forcing the action when they need it for the O'Brien offense. And you saw that in the first half. Jabria Horsley with 5 points. She had that wide open layup that she passed up because she's such an unselfish player. She could have had 7, but she got 5 points, including a 3. She got a rebound. And then we have Wiederer with 2 points on a putback, and Pichardo with 1 point for the O'Brien Tigers. So I think O'Brien's played much better than Fenway so far in this first half, certainly more as a team. I think one thing that we have to watch out for in the second half especially is Kiana Armbruster and her fouls. She either has 2 fouls or even 3 fouls to start the third quarter. So we're not exactly sure how many fouls she has. We don't have the scorebook in front of us, and we certainly aren't in the gym right now, so we don't know exactly what the total is. But we'll keep an eye on that, and hopefully she doesn't foul out because she's one of the best players on the floor. But for Fenway, I think they got to move the ball around a little bit more. They haven't really gotten a lot of open looks. It's been, Armbruster trying to clear out space to then get off a jumper. Once in a while, Amaria Ashley is able to get into the paint, so they have to find a few more ways to get some open shots offensively and see if they can cut into this O'Brien lead. Meanwhile, for the Tigers, they got to make some layups. They missed some layups there in the first half, but their offense is executing. They're getting open looks. Guerrero, Cox, Horsley, they're all either getting open looks for themselves or for each other or finding other open teammates out on the floor. So you're seeing that for the O'Brien Tigers as well. Just a reminder, folks, later on today at 4 o'clock, we have the boys Boston City Championship. It's going to be the New Mission Titans visiting the Latin Academy Dragons. We'll see who can take home the city championship on the boys' side later this afternoon. But we're still at halftime here at the girls' game. O'Brien ahead of Fenway right now, and we'll see what kind of adjustments both these coaches can make. Trudy Fisher has been a coach in the City League for a couple of decades. She actually coached the Tech Boston boys team several years ago before heading over to the girls' side. She's been on O'Brien for almost 2 decades now, if I can remember correctly. But she's certainly no stranger to winning a city championship or getting to the city championship. It's been about a decade since Fenway, or rather O'Brien, has won the city championship. So this would be a big game for them, obviously. Coming out of the third quarter, it's Fenway with the basketball, down by 6. You're going to see Omaria Ashley trying to score inside. She's unable to squeeze it home. And the rebound that time came down to Pichardo. Jasmine Cox, another wide open 3. That went off the back rim as Fenway was able to chase it down. Here comes Kiana Armbruster looking to go coast to coast. She scores off the window and gets the foul. So Kiana Armbruster looking for a 3-point play. As I mentioned, she's got a couple of fouls, so sometimes certain players have to hesitate on both ends of the floor before making a move. They can be less aggressive, but I think Kiana, with all her experience, is probably free to stay aggressive on both ends of the floor. Rattles home the second free throw, or the first free throw, rather. 3-point play there for Kiana Armbruster. Cuts the O'Brien lead in half as the Tigers now lead 20-17. Armbruster now coming away with the steal. Kiana looking for another layup. Gets that one to go. You can see the talent that Kiana Armbruster holds. Very athletic, especially for her size. She's able to get up and down the floor easily. Lena Guerrero finds Wiederer. McCray couldn't hit the jumper. That goes off of O'Brien back to Fenway. .6:30 left to go in the third quarter. Nice feed inside. Layup is good that time. Omaria Ashley with the pass. I believe that was Winter Neal underneath with the basket. And Fenway retakes the lead after that layup by Winter Neal. Jasmine Cox can't get the jumper to go. Armbruster with another rebound. Kiana Armbruster with her eyes on the rim. Can't hit that layup. Can't get the putback. And here comes Lena Guerrero. Oh, she had Jasmine Cox out on the break. Tough to see, though, amongst the several Fenway defenders. Horsley tries a runner. Got caught behind the backboard. That's a rebound for Armbruster. Corner three, around the rim and out that time for Fenway, but it's Ashley coming away with the offensive rebound, but she took an extra step to try to get to the rim. One-point lead for Fenway with almost 3 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Bria Horsley couldn't get that one off the backboard. Here comes Printemps trying to go coast to coast. She can't hit the runner. Rebound and put back no good that time for Fenway from Sasha Toussaint. And almost a turnover there for O'Brien. Now we got a held ball. And the Tigers called the timeout before the held ball. So O'Brien holds on to possession here as they call a timeout with 4:33 rather left to go in the third quarter. And so far for O'Brien, you know, they're sort of seeing a taste of their own medicine. You're seeing Fenway get into the passing lanes here early in the third quarter at the top of the key, so that Fenway is creating some turnovers to get some fast break buckets here early in the quarter. That's why they now have regained the lead with 4.5 minutes left to go in the third. O'Brien's got to take care of the basketball a little bit better. They have a very good backcourt, as we've been mentioning. Tigers also got to get on the glass. They're not as big or as tall as Fenway. Six seconds left on the shot clock for O'Brien after that timeout. Guerrero off the spin move, tries a runner, can't bank it home, goes out of bounds off of Fenway. So two Fenway players going after it. Guerrero looking for an opening. Lena has not seen a lot of open looks so far in this game, and you see her getting tied up right there. Maria Ashley scores inside for the Fenway Panthers. Fenway with a 3-point lead. We're midway through the third quarter. Jabria Horsley trying to force the action. She gets fouled inside. That's a foul on Kiana Armbruster. That might be her fourth. If that's the fourth foul on Armbruster, she's got to come out. Bria Horsley hits the first free throw. Armbruster stays in. She might just have 3 fouls. I think Kayana's got 4 fouls. That's why Coach Fenn's got to take her out. I mean, she cannot stay in there for the rest of this quarter if she has 4 fouls. So I think it's a smart move by Coach Fenn. Horsley unable to hit the second free throw. We're going to call that as going back to Fenway. That's going to be a double dribble on Fenway. Horsley with it, top of the key. Jasmine Cox got an opening, couldn't hit the floater. Scramble for the loose ball as we have another jump ball. And that's going to stay with O'Brien. Now, this is O'Brien's chance, especially with Kiana Armbruster on the bench. O'Brien's got to start driving the basketball inside the paint. There's really no other shot blocker on this Fenway team. There you see Horsley trying to get inside. She's hip checked up top. They called the travel on O'Brien. Ashley trying to step inside, gets her own offensive rebound. Putback is good from Omaria Ashley. Extends Fenway's lead back to 4. Horsley fires up a 3. That one off the back rim. Tough rebound inside by Picardo. Horsley inside the paint. Scores off the window. That's what O'Brien has to do with Kiana Armbruster on the bench. Maria Ashley steps through the defense, took another extra step. She's done that a few times in this game. Takes one too many steps as she tries to get to the rim. She makes a nice move initially. She can get it to where she can stop and pop from about 6 feet or so. She can get a couple of nice little short floaters and jumpers off with that move. Guerrero. Horsley fires up a 3. Can't rattle that home. Rebound comes down to Winter Neal. 50 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 2-point lead for the Fenway Panthers. And a steal that time by Jasmine Cox. Cox all the way to the bucket. Gets fouled on her way to the rim. I believe that's going to be a side out of bounds, or is she in the bonus? Is O'Brien in the bonus? Not yet. Oh, they do call it a 2-shot foul, however. Looks like it might have been on the floor. So Jasmine Cox now shooting 2 for the Tigers. And she rattles home the first. 11 points now for Jasmine Cox. Cannot hit the second free throw. Winter Neal now trapped with it on the wing. That's going to be a jump ball. Folks, I'm getting word from our cameraman, Shavarsh Morrissey, that Kayana Armbruster fouled out. So Kayana Armbruster, if what we have is correct, is going to be out the rest of the game. That is obviously a massive loss for Fenway. Going to foul inside that time on Jasmine Cox. Maria Ashley still down on the floor. Jasmine's so quick that anytime she makes her way inside the paint, there's going to be some contact. Corner three, well off the mark that time for Fenway. Here comes Lena Guerrero. 7 seconds left to go in the quarter. Beautiful pass inside to Jasmine Cox. Cox now with 13. Excellent pass from Lena Guerrero. And after three in the girls' 2021 Boston City Championship, it's O'Brien on top of Fenway, 26-25. And the big story right now is, of course, Kayana Armbruster, the top player on Fenway and one of the top players in the Boston City League, has fouled out, from what we understand. And she will not play the rest of the fourth quarter, obviously, if she has fouled out. She sits with 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks. So you see how much of an impact she has on the game. We'll see if she does come back in. We'll know she only has 4, but I thought it was at least close with 4 fouls. She fouled out of the game, so she's out. Amari Ashley had a nice little run there at the end of the quarter to try to keep it close. She got a couple baskets. She now has 6 points for 5 rebounds. Winter Neal with 2 points and 3 rebounds. Hadiatu Ba with still just 1 free throw. Meanwhile, on the other side again, Jasmine Cox, continuing where she left off. She had 13 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and 4 steals. We know what kind of defensive player she is. And then, of course, Lena Guerrero. We saw that beautiful pass from her in the break just before the end of the quarter. She got 3 assists to go along with her 7 rebounds and 2 points. Jabria Horsley now with 8 points and a rebound. And McCrae Wiederer with the 2 points. She's always a good rebounder for this O'Brien team as well. So O'Brien able to spread the ball around. Lena Guerrero with only 2 points, but you know she can come up with shots and create some shots for herself. She certainly can hit threes. So, but right now she's doing a great job running this team, you know, creating opportunities for other players, and that's why you see O'Brien with the lead right now. Now, from what I hear, that Kayana Armbruster has just 4 fouls. I believe she's back in there for Fenway, and she is. Okay, so Kayana Armbruster with just 4 fouls for Fenway, but I think that was the right move by Coach Fenn to sit her with the 4 fouls. Lena Guerrero firing up a 3. That one well off the mark. Pichardo there for the rebound. Wiederer comes away with the layup. McCrae Wiederer now with 4 points for the Tigers. And I think they're going to call a foul on O'Brien there. That looked like a clean steal, but 3-point lead for O'Brien here early in the fourth quarter. Printemps couldn't score that inside for Fenway. Pichardo with the rebound for the Tigers. Guerrero has to throw up a prayer. Couldn't get that to go. Armbruster with the rebound. Tries to flip it out to her teammate, Sasha Toussaint, but a little too far out in front for her as Bryant's able to come away with the steal. Almost a steal there for Fenway. Runner from Horsley is good. Bria Horsley with a couple of baskets here in the fourth quarter for the Tigers. Extends their lead to 5 with 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter. Anyways, got to get Armbruster back into it. Rebound was not corralled, but it went off the foot of Pichardo, so that'll stay with Fenway. And Fenway calls a timeout here with under 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. The Panthers trail by 5. The O'Brien Tigers, as we mentioned coming in, Fenway the 3-time defending city champion. And right now things have been tough the last few offensive possessions. We mentioned Armbruster. We thought she fouled out. She only has 4 fouls, so she's back in for the fourth quarter. But with the 4 fouls, it's just harder for a player to be as aggressive as they normally are, especially when you have 4 fouls early in the quarter. If it's late in the quarter, you know that the game is on the line, you can be more aggressive because you don't have a lot of time to save those fouls for. But right now, with Armbruster, she's got to be careful. Fenway's got to try to keep this close throughout the fourth quarter. Then Armbruster can be a little more aggressive towards the end of the quarter. But Fenway's got to figure out a way to get some other players some more open shots. Amaria Ashley has been able to create some offense for Fenway. Winter Niels, certainly somebody who can score for the Fenway Panthers. Printemps is a player right there, number 25, who can score for Fenway. So we'll see what kind of offensive possessions they can come away with here in the fourth quarter. Deep 3 from Armbruster. She's short with that one. Pass gets batted around. It's another jump ball, and Pichardo comes away with it. And that's going to go back to O'Brien. It's actually going to stay with the Fenway Panthers. Corner 3 is in that time for Fenway. I think that was Winter Neal connected from long distance. Might have been a 2. We'll have to check on that next time we get a look at the scoreboard, but I think it was a 3 from Winter Neal. Horsley off the backboard, unable to hit that one, and that's going to be a foul on Fenway. Runner for Jasmine Cox off the window, unable to go down. Kiana Armbruster comes away with the loose ball. That was a 3 that time from Winter Neal, so it's a 2-point game. Fenway looking for a chance to tie it up here on this possession. Armbruster rolling to the rim. What a catch by Armbruster. She gets bumped inside. It stays with the Panthers. Corner 3 again from Winter Neal, no good. McCray Wiederer comes away with a rebound. Horsley tries a floater. Yeah, she took an extra step. That was a foul on Jabria. I'm sorry, that was a traveling violation on Jabria Horsley. We saw Fenway's offense a little stagnant earlier. Now it's O'Brien who's looking a little sluggish on the offensive side of the ball. There's Ashley looking inside with a duck down pass to Armbrister. It'll stay with the Panthers. Winter Neal off the back rim. Jabria Horsley can't hit the runner. Midway through the fourth quarter, 2-point lead for O'Brien. Fenway now with the basketball. Winter Neal plows over Pichardo, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Winter Neal. Off the spin move, good swing. Jasmine Cox can't hit the three. Ashley comes away with the rebound for Fenway. Printemps looking for the runner, no good. Rebound comes down to Jasmine Cox. Cox thought she had a layup, but I think she took an extra step and traveled on her way to the basket. She had Jabria Horsley on her right side there. It was tough to see her out on the break. Fenway will call a timeout here with under 4 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Folks, we'll bring this game to you live from O'Brien High School in Roxbury. It's the girls' 2021 Boston City Championship. And folks, if you want to follow us on Facebook, you can certainly go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. A lot of good stuff up on that site, including which games we're going to be covering, previous games, the YouTube links to them, a lot of good stuff there. So make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us there. You can also go to our website. Go to www.boston.gov/cable. Go to the bottom of the page. You click on Game of the Week. It reroutes you to the City Video Library. You can check out a lot of our old games that we've covered in the past and the games we've covered throughout this season. And finally, you can follow us on Twitter @BostonCityTV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. All of our coverage of the City League games this year, we tweet out the links and which games we're going to be covering to inform the public. So make sure you follow us on Twitter as well. Coming out of the timeout, still a 2-point lead for O'Brien. These teams have been stuck on 30-28 for a few minutes now. About 3:15 left to go in the quarter. Backdoor pass to Armbrister with a basket and the foul. Excellent look that time from Fenway, as Armbrister was able to score the hoop and the harm. See if Armbrister can break the tie here with this free throw. As you mentioned, she's got 4 fouls. She's got to be careful on both ends of the floor. Cannot hit the free throw, so we stay tied at 30. Pichardo was chasing after it. That's going to stay with Fenway. It went off of Pichardo. So Fenway, after tying the game at 30, now has a chance to take the lead on this possession. Open look for Printemps, who scores the hoop and gets the foul. Janiyah Printemps getting in on the action. Printemps cannot hit the free throw. It's been a lane violation there, as Printemps will get one more. She does hit the second. (33-30), Fenway on top. Horsley tries a floater. That doesn't fall for her. It'll stay with O'Brien. Guerrero was fouled inside the paint. Should be a side out of bounds. Off the fake, Horsley tries a runner. Blocking foul inside on Winter Neal. So Jabria Horsley will now get 2 free throws. Jabria hits the first. Horsley looking to cut the Fenway lead to 1 with this second free throw. And she does. The senior stepping up to hit 2 big free throws here late in the 2021 Boston City Championship. 2.5 minutes left to go in regulation. 1-point lead for Fenway. Kiana Armbrister. Step back, long 2, short with that one. Rebound comes down to Jasmine Cox. Flying down the floor as Cox can't hit the layup. Rebound comes down to Armbrister. Kiana Armbrister flips it up to Winter Neal. 3 well short, block inside. They called the foul inside by McCray Wiederer. That looked like a clean block to me. Maria Ashley not able to hit that first free throw. Ashley no good at the second. Put back no good from Fenway. And the Panthers continue to get on the offensive glass. That's Ashley again. She's going to get 2 more. Ashley hits the first. And Ashley hits the second. Extends Fenway's lead back to 3. Horsley firing up a deep two, can't get that to go. Rebound comes down to Winter Neal. Winter Neal gets it poked away. Fenway calls a timeout. Less than 2 minutes left to go. Fenway calls a timeout with a 3-point lead here in the girls' 2021 Boston City Championship. Fenway looking to make it 4 in a row. To be a four straight Boston City Championships for this Fenway program. Meanwhile, O'Brien looking for their first city championship in over a decade. I believe O'Brien's last city championship was back in 2009. We'll see what Fenway tries to do here. Canna Armbruster with 4 fouls. She's been able to stay away from getting that 5th foul this entire quarter. She hasn't done a ton offensively. It's really been her teammates like Omari Ashley, who's been aggressive on the offensive boards, and Winter Neal, who's knocked down a 3 in this quarter, to carry the offensive load as Armbruster's had to stay out there on the floor, mostly for defensive purposes. Good on-ball defense that time by Horsley. Printemps can't hang on to the loose ball. Winter Neal scores off the window. 5-point lead now for Fenway. Horsley going all the way in. It's rejected by Armbruster. Lead pass from Ashley, and it was Toussaint who was unable to hang on to it. As Ashley fired it in there. It was not the easiest pass to come up with. Wide open 3 for Guerrero, and she can't get it to fall for. Offensive rebound. Guerrero, corner 3. Lena no good on that one. Horsley comes up with the offensive rebound. Doesn't get the shot in, but she's going to get 2 free throws. So Jabria Horsley now back at the free throw line. Shooting 2. She cannot hit the first. That's a big miss, because even if she hits this, it's still a 2-possession game. Horsley no good on the second, gets her own offensive rebound. No call inside there, as I thought that was going to be Armbruster's 5th. Looked like Armbruster got away with a hip check there. So 40 seconds left to go. 5-point lead for Fenway. I know if I'm O'Brien, I got to think about possibly fouling here late in the quarter. So now that's a foul on the Tigers, as it's going to be Printemps that's going to head to the free throw line. So Janaea Printemps now shooting 1-and-1. Printemps buries the first. So Janaea Printemps extends Fenway's lead to 6. If she can get this second free throw, it'll be a 3-possession game here late in the 4th quarter. She cannot hit the second. We got a lane violation again on O'Brien. looks like Lena Guerrero, I think, stepped in early there. This could be big if Winter Neal or Printemps hits the shot. After that miss, it'll be a 3-possession game. And she does. Big penalty there on O'Brien. So the Tigers got a lot of work to do. Down by 7. Jasmine Cox all the way to the rim. Can't finish off the backboard. Armbrister taps it over to Printemps, and Printemps is fouled in the backcourt. So Printemps now at the free throw line, shooting 2 as Fenway's in the double bonus. Printemps hits the second. 9-point lead there for Fenway as Guerrero goes all the way in for the bucket. Bryant's got a foul right away. Bryant's got a foul. And now Guerrero commits the foul on Omaria Ashley. Here with 7 seconds left to go. That's going to be a little too late there for O'Brien. Looks like Fenway is going to hang on to win the 2021 Girls Boston City Championship for the 4th time in a row. Maria Ashley no good on the first. Ashley knocks down the second. Three seconds left to go as Guerrero fires up a 3 and finally hits one, but the Fenway Panthers are once again the girls' Boston City champions for the 4th time in a row, as they hang on to win 42-37 over the O'Brien Tigers. Excellent game here at O'Brien High School. I thought O'Brien actually controlled most of the game throughout, but it was Fenway who was able to hang on to win for the 4th time in a row. We mentioned Kiana Armbrister got in some foul trouble actually in the 3rd quarter there. She had to sit out, but Fenway was able to kind of hold it together as Armbrister came back out for the 4th quarter. Did not commit her 5th foul throughout the entire 4th quarter. So the Fenway Panthers, during this pandemic condensed 2021 basketball season, is able to take down O'Brien. O'Brien Tigers, heck of a season. They were undefeated all year long. I actually thought they controlled the game throughout, but just weren't able to hit a couple of shots down the stretch. And some of the other players on Fenway were able to grab some offensive rebounds. And that's why they were able to hold on to win by 5 here in the Boston City Championship. See if we get a shot of Fenway here posing with the trophy. Obviously, you know, normally during a regular season for the Boston City League, we'd see a trophy presentation. You have an all-city tournament team, an MVP of the city tournament. But, of course, with the pandemic, they're not doing that this year. But Fenway, of course, wins the Boston City Championship. Can't see if there's a shot of the trophy. That's Billy Sittig in that gray sweatshirt there. He's one of the athletic directors for the Boston City League. Avery Esdale, the head athletic director, Billy right behind him there, as he does a lot with sports information for the City League, scheduling. He's been going to work a lot over the last few weeks to get this season in, along with Avery Esdale and several of the other. There you see Avery right there, right on cue, passing through the screen there, is the head athletic director for Boston Public Schools. You see the T-shirts for all the Fenway Panthers. I'm going to try to see if we can get a shot of the trophy. I believe Coach Fenn has the trophy in her hands right there. Or that's just a clipboard. This is how we have to do this with this remote production, folks. It's tough to see a lot of things. We only have one camera in the gym, so certainly a different. There's the trophy right there. Winter Neal's got it now. Keanu Armbrister is holding on to the trophy. As you see all the Fenway Lady Panthers getting the medals. I think they're going to pose for a picture, so we'll see if we can get that shot of the Fenway Panthers there in the middle. Pat O'Connor taking a picture of Fenway. So 4 city championships in a row for the Fenway Panthers as they hang on to win over the O'Brien Tigers 42-37. Just going to give you some final stats here from the game as they set up for this picture here. As the Fenway Panthers take their 4th city championship in a row. First city championship for our first-year head coach, Caitlin Fenn. 3rd city championship for Keanu Armbrister. She's just a junior. And of course, any of the seniors on Fenway, this is their 4 city championships. You're a senior on Fenway this year. You've seen 4. You don't know what it's like to not have a city championship. So very successful program here in Boston. Coach John Rice has certainly been at the helm for a long time. He actually stepped away this season, but Coach Fenn stepped in and has done a great job. I believe Fenway finished the season undefeated. Some of these high schools have played some other games in addition to all the schools in the Boston City League, so some of the standings are a little bit different depending on which games you look at. Some games are games that don't count against your standings. They were just trying to fit some in during the regular season. So heck of a job there. You see Fenway posing for the city championship photo as the Fenway Panthers are your 2021 Girls Boston City Champions. They win the city championship for the 4th time in 4 years. Heck of a run once again for Fenway. Of course, as we mentioned, trophy presentation a little different this time around as compared to years past. There you see the seniors getting into the posing with the city championship trophy there for Fenway. As I mentioned, these seniors, Fenway has won 4 in a row, so the seniors have won a city championship every single season they've been with the program. There you see Coach Fenn get in the middle of the shot. So excellent city championship game. I mean, it could have gone either way for most of this one. As you saw, I thought, as I said before, I thought O'Brien controlled the game for most of the 4 quarters there. And then towards the end, Fenway was able to, go on a run a little bit in the 3rd quarter. The lead went back and forth throughout, but I really thought O'Brien controlled the pace of the game, had better offensive possessions, were able to get some more open looks than Fenway, but it was the Panthers. Getting on the offensive glass was big. Omaria Ashley got a lot of offensive rebounds. You saw Winter Neal hit some big shots down the stretch. Keanu Armbrister had a big game throughout. She was a little quiet there in the 4th quarter, but had some big blocks, some rebounds. Didn't necessarily have to score to have a big impact on the game, and that's why the Fenway Panthers were able to hang on to win. We'll get you some final stats here from this ball game. Armbrister with 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks, so still a great game despite the foul trouble. Omaria Ashley, 9 points and 7 rebounds. She's more of a guard, so to get 7 rebounds is huge. Winter Neal, 7 points. She had 5 big points in the 4th quarter to go along with 5 rebounds. Printemps with 7 points. She had a very big 4th quarter as well. 2 rebounds for her. Hadiatu Ba with just the 1 point. Meanwhile, for O'Brien, Jasmine Cox had a great game. She didn't score in the 4th quarter. She had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 5 steals. I mean, you saw the entire game how good Jasmine Cox is defensively, the way that she's able to make it very uncomfortable for all the perimeter players on the opposing team. Alina Guerrero was 7 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. She had 15 in the city semifinals, just 7 tonight. I think O'Brien missed her offense just a little bit. She was fantastic, running the floor. She had some beautiful passes for assists to give her teammates layups, but she just wasn't able to score as much as she normally does for the O'Brien team tonight. Horsley with 12 points. Thought she could have had a few more as well to go along with 3 rebounds. Wiederer with 4 points, both on putbacks. That's what McCray Wiederer does. 6 rebounds and a point for Pichardo. So, O'Brien's got a lot of players who contribute, but they just couldn't hit some shots, especially in the second quarter that I think were open looks that they just weren't able to make, and that's why Fenway was able to hang on and win 42-37 over the O'Brien Tigers for the 2021 Girls Boston City Championship. That's now 4 city championships in a row for the Fenway Panthers. Folks, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Game of the Week. If you want to follow us on social media and watch some of these games again, first you can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. A lot of good stuff up on our Facebook page. Make sure you like us there. We have YouTube links. We have updates about what games we're going to be covering. A lot of good BPS athletics information there, so make sure you like us and subscribe to our Facebook page. You can also go to our city website. Go to www.boston.gov/cable. Scroll down the bottom of the screen, click on Game of the Week. That'll route you to our video library. You can check out previous games that we've covered this season and from seasons past, so make sure you check that out as well. And then finally, you can follow us on Twitter @BostonCityTV, and if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Well, that was an excellent Girls City Championship game. We're looking forward to the Boys City Championships actually happening in about an hour and a half or so, so make sure you stick around. We're going to step away for now, but at 4 o'clock, we're going to start the Boys City Championship broadcast, so make sure you stay with us. But for right now, we're going to say so long here on Game of the Week. Have a good night, everybody.